Hi everybody, it is Julia. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. I just want to kind of update you guys on where I am in my writing process and my creative process and just life in general. So we're just going to do like an update. We're going to sit down and talk, and I'm going to keep you guys posted on just everything that's happening with me. Right now, I'm in a little bit of a transitional period. You guys know that I have been out of work for quite a while now and really tried to make a go. I know I could have done more to promote my editing company, but tried to make a go of that, and it's just really hard to work around when writers are ready to give you their work. So it's not something where I can go out and push to say, hey, I'd love to work with you, and they would love to work with me as well. However, it's really dependent on when they're done their writing process. So it's not really a reliable income for me, and I realize that it needs to be a secondary income. I still love doing it. I still want to do it, but I am actively looking for work again because it just isn't something that can sustain me. Even though I have little projects coming in here or there, there's nothing that's reliable, and I'm not in a position to set deadlines for other people, and so it's not a reliable source of income for me. So I am currently like high stress in the process of looking for a job again. I don't know what field that's going to be in or what that's going to entail or what my hours might look like. I don't know anything right now. I'm kind of throwing out a wide net and seeing what feels right for me. So that's where I'm at in terms of that, which is stressful. Like, I don't have a problem working. I'm a very hard worker, but I like to just be in it. The actual like job search and interviewing and that whole process causes me so much anxiety that I just kind of shut down and I stop looking. Like, I know I need to look, but the process of looking makes me so deeply uncomfortable. I just want somebody to say like, hey, come on board. I don't care if I like shuffle papers for the rest of my life. Like, just give me a job to do and I will do it. I'm struggling with that, like, personally, which is definitely creating a little bit of a void in my creative life. And then if you guys follow me on Instagram or my Insta stories or just kind of like anywhere lately, you'll know that I also ran into like a little bit of a wall in my book writing. So I had book 1 of my trilogy completely written, and I was going through my edits, my personal edits before beta readers on that. And then I'd also started like in the downtime where I just needed a little bit of distance from book 1, I started writing book 2, and I got about like 60,000 words into book 2, which is really, you know, it's a decent way through book 2. And I realized that I was like writing book 2 in a way that tried to correct book 1, which is ridiculous because book 1's not out yet. I can correct it now. I was finding my characters really struggling to make decisions and actions and plot points that were happening make sense. And I realized that book 1 was not what I wanted it to be. Not because it is horrible, not because the concept or the idea or the characters are bad, but just because it really needed some honing. Book 1 takes place mainly in our world, and there's not a ton of crossover between our world and fairy. You guys know that my book is a fae witch crossover, and it really felt very contemporary with just like little magical aspects. Whereas book 2 takes place a lot in fairy, and it felt very fantasy based. So we had like a contemporary start and a fantasy second, and there was not enough mixture in between. So I need to work on that. I also really wanted to work on some of the scenes. I kind of cursed myself a little bit. I read The Wicked Deep, and I read Strange the Dreamer, and some books that were just gorgeous. I reread The Serpent King and just underlined a ton of like beautiful lyrical writing and quotes. And I realized my book was lacking that, and I didn't want it to lack that. A lot of the punch and the emotional pull and the really quick connection to characters that I had in some of my flash fiction was missing in these characters because I had a longer time to develop them. I felt like they got watered down a little bit too much, and I love them enough to want them to be vibrant. I decided to step away from my second draft of book 1. I had reprinted it out, and it's about 106,000 words. It's big, and I decided to put it down and not even read it. I'm not getting rid of the story, but I'm going to rework it. I do have private Pinterest boards for book 1 and 2, and what I think I'm going to do is use my Pinterest boards as picture inspiration for flash fiction. And I'm going to write really hard-hitting, impactful, beautiful little scenes based off of those either character pictures or setting pictures or moments in the book, I'm going to try to incorporate those into the draft I already have, if possible. I don't know if it needs a full rewrite or if I can work with what I have as of right now, because I've been hiding from it and I haven't been writing and I haven't been doing anything because I felt really dejected and I felt like a failure because I want the book to be better and I want the characters to be better and I want to be better, and I know I'm not going to be a Laini Taylor on my first book, and I know that if I go ahead and pitch this to publishing houses that they're going to give me other feedback and other ways to improve, and I'm fully open to that, but I didn't even feel like I was ready for beta readers, and I was really disappointed with the way that the book came out. I want it to be good, you know, I know it's not going to be a masterpiece, but I want it to be good, and I just wasn't happy with it yet. And I had a lot of people that really encouraged me to like, go ahead and just send it to beta readers or don't scrap it. You know, it's just writer self-doubt creeping in. And it is 100% writer self-doubt creeping in, but it's also me as a professional editor and me as a lifelong writer knowing it can be better, you know, and it should be better. So this is not just purely self-doubt. This is me knowing I have way too much room for improvement for me to go ahead and start pitching this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a step back and rework it and try to make it great. And you guys have been really, really good about coming along the journey with me and staying up to date and keeping up with me on Instagram stories and motivating me and encouraging me. And I just wanted to be like really transparent, give you guys an update of where I am. That's where I'm at right now. And it sucks. It's really, really hard. I know this is what it needs to be, and I know this is what I need to do, and I know that this gives me the best possible chance for book one and the best book for you guys. And I'm really proud of myself for being brave enough to do that, because I know it's really easy to just say, I have 106,000 words, it's good enough, I'm going to go ahead and self-publish and not worry about it. Or I'm going to go ahead and beta read and not worry about it and then not be receptive to feedback and just say like, no, I know it's good. I know it isn't. I know it needs to be better. So it's kind of freeing to say like, hey, this is not good. But it's really daunting to look at reworking that much of a book. But I know it has to happen. And I know it's going to be so much better for it when it does. That's where I'm at with that. I've given myself, today's Thursday. Yeah, today's Thursday. I've given myself until Monday to give myself a little bit of time just to get back from BookCon, to like refresh myself after that much like peopling, to do a little bit of job searching. But the idea of job searching is already really, really stressful for me. And the idea of taking over this book again is really, really stressful for me. Right now, I'm just really, really struggling more than I realized I was. I'm really just struggling to try to keep it together and move forward. It's really, really scary not knowing what my future looks like in terms of a job and income. And it's really scary not knowing what my future looks like in terms of a writer and these books that I really love and I've been thinking about for so long. It's been a little bit of like a raw and like really rough time for me right now as I try to do both of these things together. And I don't know what that looks like in terms of my writing then. You know, I don't know if I need to put it off until I figured out the job situation. I don't know if I need to use it as an outlet during this situation. I don't know. But I wanted to just let you guys know like kind of where I'm at. It's been a number of months now since my unemployment stopped because I have a degree and I don't have a job. And that didn't make sense to them. And I agree, it didn't make sense and it doesn't make sense. And I've kind of been hiding from the whole getting a job thing because I really wanted to try to make the most of this editing business, but it just hasn't been working. And so I feel like a failure on that part. I have no money coming in. I haven't had any money coming in months. And so I've just kind of been living off of what I had. And that was really, really difficult at BookCon and in New York because it's not a cheap place to go. And as much as I was trying to enjoy myself, I got laid up with this foot blister and felt like a failure in that way. You know, it's kind of going along for the ride to the Strand and to Barnes & Noble and to bookstores and even BookCon, which ended up being a lot more of like a purchase instead of find art kind of a situation. And that caused a lot of stress and anxiety for me because I had zero budget for book buying while I was there. It ended up being like such a mixed bag while I was there because I was so excited to be there and so excited to be seeing people, but then I also just felt so stressed and I knew I was gonna come back and have to like dive into the fact that I'm broke and I need to figure out a way to fix this, and that my editing attempt had failed and that my book had failed and that I ended up spending so much of my trip stressed because of both of those things and trying to like smile through it. And don't get me wrong, I genuinely had the best time seeing my friends, and I'm so glad I did it. But it was hard and it kind of sucked a little bit just to like know that I had to come back and face all this, just feeling like the biggest failure of a human being who's supposed to be an adult. And that's a really hard place for me to be, and I don't feel good about myself about it. I don't know what things look like, and I don't know as I job hunt and as I hopefully start a new job what my timeline looks like here for posting. I don't know what my process is going to look like for writing and keeping you guys up to date on my vlogs when I write. And I've been throwing myself into reading and throwing myself into buddy reads and throwing myself into staying connected to the community in any way possible so that I don't feel like a failure, because if I have these buddy reads, or at least I'm reading actively with people, or then at least I'm doing something, you know. But this is like a hot mess, right? This is stupid. But yeah, that's just where I'm at. And like, in the realest sense, I don't know what anything looks like here forward. But I do know that for the first time in a really long time, I don't have things pre-filmed, and I don't have a set like schedule of what I want to film, and I don't have video ideas that I really want to get to, and that's not where I want to be right now. I might go through and show you guys my signed book and personalized book collection so that you guys can see what I have that is signed and personalized. I'm going to try to do some recommendation videos, but my mind is like, just like mental health wise and like personally, just kind of like struggle bussing a little bit to figure out what comes next. So if I go down to 2 videos a week or to less of like a consistent schedule, I think that's just what I need right now. And I know you guys don't mind that, and I know that that's like an okay thing for me to do, to just be transparent with you guys and let you guys know that I have a lot going on outside of this that is just going to need my time and attention. I have a bachelorette weekend coming up. I've got my sister's wedding coming up. I have just things that are going to be happening that will be taking my time and attention and energy while I figure out a new job. Hopefully, fingers crossed, guys, keep your thoughts with me, because I need to have money coming in. It's been way too many months without any money being deposited into my account. I'm gonna make it all work, and I'm not going anywhere, but content might just be different for a little bit, you know. I just don't want to sit down to film just to have content. That's not how anybody should ever feel, and I didn't feel that way before, and I still don't feel that way now. I know based on my mental health right now that if I sat down and I just was dead set on 3 videos a week, I would be sitting down to film just to film, because there's nothing in my list of video ideas that I'm like super passionate about sitting down to film right away. So that's why I just kind of wanted to sit down and give you guys a little bit of an update on where I am and where I'm going and how things are going to go. I'm going to actually go and film a little bit of my vlog for my books that I've read so far this month, because it is the 7th, and I've read a couple of things, so I want to update you guys. So I'm gonna go do that. Thanks for dealing with me being weepy. You guys are used to me crying, I'm sure, at this point, but I'll keep you guys updated. As always, follow my Instagram stories, because you're gonna know what I'm reading and how everything's going there before you know it here. And I've never really sat down to do like a life update kind of a video. We're gonna make it work. It'll happen, it'll be okay. Thank you for your continued support and encouragement as I figure out both the book and the job and just things in general. I didn't realize, I guess, how much this was all kind of weighing on me until I sat down to film. So thanks for allowing me to just kind of like dump a little bit, but I feel better, and I'm gonna go look for jobs. If you like this video, I don't know why you would, but if you do, give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye guys.